I will watch more and bring you the latest. Let's transition to another crisis that has been affecting the country for now 47 days, close to 50. And there doesn't appear to be any solution in the horizon, that is between the doctors and the government. They were so close to signing a deal, but the doctors said if there's no consideration for the medical interns, then there's no deal. And actually, there has been threats to fire, to delay salaries, or actually not even pay doctors because they've not been working. Watch this.
As a Minister for Public Service, I'm in charge of payroll. And I want to say that the union, I cannot continue working for free for a union which is not respecting court orders. So I've instructed my payroll people not to remit the dues for this particular union because I will be abetting crime.
You are not supposed to earn a salary if you have not worked. And therefore, those who have been on strike and they have not been working, definitely should not expect any pay.
All right, so that's the position taken by the government. Of course, the doctors have said that it is okay. They will continue to insist on the rights of medical interns. Some of the union officials are actually going without a salary after they were sort of, is it sacked or is it suspended within their institutions? Mheshimiwa, let me begin with you on this one, because is it that we are not able to deal with labor issues, or is it that the doctors are just too stubborn? Why aren't we listening to each other as a country?
Thank you, Sam. It's really sad that doctors have to go on strike for 48 days, I think by yesterday.
It's 47 today.
47,
yes.
Okay. It's really sad. You know, I don't know really who to blame, because when the doctors are, when they graduate, they swear that they will take very serious about people's lives. And now I'm just wondering, what do they think now that people are just dying in the hospital? I have an experience. We got somebody who was very ill in my constituency in Meru. Actually, he was rotting in the house. Worms, you know, so we got an ambulance and took him to the Meru Level 5 hospital. And of course, there are no doctors. And even those who would have been willing to help, actually, there were 3 patients at home, which was really, really poor. They are scared that they may be seen to be working. So they left. They went to another similar hospital. Nothing happened. Of course, they had to leave there. They went to another private hospital even, because we decided, yeah, now we are not getting any help. And they still couldn't get help. We had to go to the last private hospital, now a real private hospital, which is St. Teresa's Hospital in Meru, Kerua. And that's where they got help. So that's one incident, because probably they contacted me and I was able to get them the ambulance and all that. How about the many, many millions of Kenyans who cannot be able to afford even to go to those private hospitals? I sympathize with them. But I think when they were swearing, they didn't talk about money. My daughter is a doctor, my last doctor. Well, she's working. She works at Kenyatta, and she's been working. She didn't go on.
Is she on strike?
I don't know. I don't know whether, but I don't think she's on strike because I still see her working. So I'm sympathetic. The economy has gone up, and they also need money. They have spent so much time in college, like they are saying. And an intern is as good as a doctor. It's true, because I've seen it. But whatever we vow, whatever we vowing, we hold the Bible and say that I'll do the oath. That's the word.
Hippocratic oath.
Yes, they take oath. Surely an oath is a very serious thing, that they will save lives. So I don't think they should consider that, because they have much of the agreements have been catered for. It's just that one of interns, maybe just even amount of monies. They still have monies, but they don't have the much they wanted. So I think they should go back and save lives as they, you know, they vowed, and save lives. And the government, they say they are continuing. The threat is not a good thing, because when we threaten them, how many doctors do we have per patient right now? It's very many patients per doctor. So we don't even really have enough doctors as it is. So we should consider them, I agree, as a government. But let them go, because I'm sure that the government is not just saying we are not going to pay you. It's, you know, sometimes you should look at things in all perspectives. It's not that they are refusing.
Okay.
There are budgets. There are other things. We are talking of disaster management of these floods. We are talking of,
the challenge is that when other things are being done, it's actually possible to even come up with a supplementary budget to make that happen. But when doctors are involved, they are thrown wage bill questions at them, that there are no resources, that you're not collecting enough, that we cannot continue spending more on salaries. When do you think the government is genuine on this?
They are very genuine. I would rather you tell me take this much rather than promising me much more and it doesn't come by. We all know what you are going through as a government. We are healing. We have seen things are improving. But then we don't just one day, okay, it's not one day, it has been there for a while. But they are being told to wait. It's not like it will never happen.
So if at the moment, and I didn't want to get into the details because the medical interns have been getting 206,000 shillings.
Yes.
Now they're being told that this is not sustainable. It has to go down to 70,000 shillings. So the government just realized this.
Well, that's a very hard question to answer, but like I say, there's no need of promising somebody 206, and we are increasing doctors and interns all the time, and other interns, because it's not only in doctors. And theirs, I think, is a very serious, because it's about life. When you talk of engineers, about metal and buildings and whatever else, but doctors, they are dealing with people's lives, which is really very, very important.
So they should just wake up and go to work?
I think so. I mean, I'm not being simplistic.
Yeah.
Just wake up and go, doctors. You know, the agreement is there. I see them and I sympathize with them, honestly. But then let's weigh things. Let's weigh, because it's not like the government is refusing. I've seen them have meetings and they have been explained to, and sometimes like Mheshimiwa CS Kuria is saying, we sack them, you know. You can get upset and utter words that are not good, but...
And is that responsible leadership, really? If you get upset and lose your cool, is that responsible leadership?
Well, that is not responsible. We should really sit down and sympathize with them. It's not that they are also being so adamant. I'm trying to weigh the two options.
No, I know what you're trying to do, Mheshimiwa, but...
But I really wish the doctors would go back to work.
Okay.
And then we deal with the intern problem. As they are working, as they are saving lives.
Fred, I'm just wondering how you do that, knowing the attitude has been quite condescending, especially when the CS Courier says that these are just students who just sat their final cut or continuous assessment test. The interns like anyone else. So, and really, 47 days with no services in most of the public hospitals, and there doesn't appear to be any solution. Where do we go now?
You see, Sam, that condescending attitude towards the doctors is very dangerous. First of all, we have had issues. Who are really medical interns? That is something that has been underrated. Well, for sure, we know that these are qualified doctors who are tasked with offering medical services to our people. Particularly now, some that we have got floods. We know there are so many people who have been injured. We've just seen news in Naivasha. What is happening? There could be people that are injured there. They require medical attention. Who is going to treat them while our doctors are on strike? Why are our doctors on strike? I don't want to go into those issues. We have canvassed them severally. But one thing that is coming out, Sam, is I think we need a mediator now. Yesterday, I attended the Kotu prayer day. And I was there with the leadership from Azimio and Kotu SG Atwoli. And I think sometimes we really don't utilize the positions we have in the society to influence the nature of issues for the benefit of public. Secretary General Atwoli had said sometimes back that it is in his interest and the interest of the public to ensure that the doctors go back to work, because he had been accused earlier that he's not talking about the doctor strike. And he promised that he will ensure that he takes a tripartisan approach to ensure that doctors go back to work. We want to see, even as we go to the Labor Day, what is the government, the medical, the KMPDU, and a mediator, whether it is KOTU, whether it is somebody else, doing to ensure that we have a return to work formula. The issues that they were addressing, the government says they have been addressed, 18 of them. The KMPDU says there's an issue that is a deal breaker, the interns. If they don't address that, they'll rather lose everything. I think we are staring at a disaster. I strongly believe, Sam, that it is in the interests of everyone, particularly the government of the day, when you see cabinet secretaries paid by public money, who took oath of office, who are responsible in their own individual capacity and collectively to the president, talking to the striking doctors like their children who should just go back home and sit, while there are also people who have relatives who should be treated. They know that. They know that they offer service. They took an oath of office. Why is it that it's so difficult for this government to sit down with doctors and agree on issues of concern of both parties? We know there could be lack of money, but doctors are not mad. I'm sure they also understand. If they can have a mediator to sit down with them and agree and have a return to work formula that can restore medical services, particularly now that we have an issue, we will be happy as a country. And lastly, Sam, the president sometimes back acknowledged that he knows more than some of his cabinet secretaries and PSS. It's actually reflecting today when you see some of these cabinet secretaries talk badly, condescending attitude, send statements late in the middle of the night, issue statements that do not make sense. It's a reflection of his government. Okay. So I think we must also tell the president to put his cabinet into order. The public are suffering. The hustlers who voted for him are asking him, you gave us some of these cabinet secretaries who don't care. They're reckless and heartless. Please restore order in your government so that we can see things move. Medical, the healthcare is in shambles, the disaster management in shambles, but we want to ask him. He is the authority. He is the last man that has the power to ensure that his cabinet works. These are people who respond to him, report to him. On the issue of doctor strike, I really fear talking about it again, Sam, because it is going to 47 days, nothing is happening. Maybe what is the data? How many are dead? How many are in the hospitals now? We don't know. So it's an issue that we really have to be careful about. All right.
Now, we're out of time. It's 8 a.m. Mheshimiwa Oloch had mentioned something about doctors, so allow me to deny the chance and give 30 seconds to Mheshimiwa Ndeto before taking a look at the feedback on what you think should be the solution now, because there doesn't appear to be end in sight.
Yes, I think just like my colleagues have said, what we've picked up from from the meetings that have been going on is that the bulk of the issues have been resolved, and what is now pending is the issue of the interns. I think here, what we have to do is we need to have a careful balance between, obviously, saving lives, because out of this strike, I'm sure people have lost their lives. People's medical conditions may have been aggravated because of not seeing doctors in time, etc. But my understanding of why the intern issue is such a big issue is because the government wishes to absorb all interns. And that's why the government is saying, look here, let us pick everybody, but at a lower cost. And you just know, last week we had a conversation around the national wage bill. So it's also a serious conversation. And I know we can, sit here and say, why don't we just accommodate the doctors? Why don't we do a supplementary budget? I think, again, if you look at the papers today, the government is trying to slash, even its own budget by an additional 350 billion, in the backdrop of what is happening and all the commitments that it is having. So what I would say is that I think our doctors, we would like to ask them to look for, there must be some middle ground, okay? One person is at 2006, the other person is at 70. Surely, I think there can be a negotiation somewhere. But if both parties come with very fixed position, then I think we could be in this for a long a long time. But some allow me to say that, going to medical school for the doctors is not a walk in the park. It's a very, very difficult thing, and I think we should also, be considerate. Again, as a country, we do not want to lose these brains. We do also not want a position whereby we train all our doctors, and because we can't pay them well, they all take off, to go to other countries, and our health system continues, in perennial sort of the challenges that we see.
What is interesting is that on this panel, it's possible to speak on both sides. Never mind that at least the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Moses Kuria, has almost dismissed that narrative you just mentioned last. But all the same, we can only hope that there will be a solution in the coming days. Let's take a look at the feedback that has come to us. Brian Chemwa at Citizen TV Kenya, you're saying that I am seeing many students in school uniforms here in Tongaren headed to school, and it looks like they have no idea that this Machogo postponed the opening.
No idea.
We had no idea ourselves.
If in Nairobi, we don't know.
The majority of the students have already traveled. Okay, Odongo Rolex, on the issue of JKIA, are they still blaming the previous government? Why is CS Murkomen so quiet? He's not very quiet. He actually spoke, but he spoke about schools and transport, not on JKIA. Franco Rinde, KKA government is not proactive. They are reactive. MET department gave us the forecast and a warning. The government sat back. Today, we are hit so hard with the raging floods, and all they can do is to ask citizenry to move to higher grounds. Sad. Who else is Remy Butia? Preparedness and response actions of disaster management authorities depend on a country's flood management strategy. Lack of a clear strategy leads to increased adverse impacts socially, economically, and environmentally. Then Sanixon Dugire, you're saying, by the way, haven't those government officials that travel outside the country for benchmarking picked anything that is related to disaster management or preparedness that can assist our people? Benchmarking, you say. Then someone else, John Simon. Why is the woman rep not talking of the money that all these government ministries and CS and PS are being paid for doing nothing? All the travel and fuel and lavish lifestyles, we have money for that and not for healthcare, which is critical. Come on, these guys, that's what you say. Not me. Bob Otieno is saying that doctors feel they will betray interns if they go back to work without their interest being taken care of by the government because it was one of their main agenda for going on strike. So that's what Kenyans are saying this morning, and so much feedback that is online, especially devastation of the floods, but also reactions by parents and stakeholders in the education sector as to that postponement of reopening of schools that came in the middle of the night. But please do take care. The meteorological department has been speaking about it, saying that you should avoid moving in moving waters. However, they may appear they are still. Please don't drive in deep waters, and also you can actually wait for the situation to clear before risking your life. My name is Sam Gituku. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Geoffrey Wandeto, Mheshimiwa Antonio Loch, Mheshimiwa Karambu Kailemi, and Fred Okango for making time for us to have this conversation. Bye for now. See you again some other time.